Good morning, everyone. That was good on the first go. I'm Roger Danvers. I have the absolute pleasure of joining you this morning for this very important special meeting of the Vision 2030 Jamaica Thematic Working Group. Before we move into our program, I invite Mrs. Samantha Wilmot Wilby to lead us in prayer. Please stand at your table.
Let us pray. Heavenly and most righteous Father, we come before you first and foremost to give you all the thanks and praise. Lord, you're such a good God, and you know it's right of us to begin our prayers giving thanks for all that you have done. Lord, all that we have seen thus far and those that we have not yet seen. Lord, we want to say thank you in advance. Lord, we're gathered here today and we don't take it for granted. Getting from point A to point B is a blessing. And so, Lord, we just want to say thank you for that as well. And we also pray for journeying mercies for those who are still on their way, those who are making their way to work or whatever it is that their destination is. Lord, we want to pray for journeying mercies. Lord, as we gather to do the country's business, Lord, and to discuss specifically the youth sector, Lord, I pray that you may touch our brain cells, that, our discussion will be fruitful, that the presentations will be, very satisfying to the mind, and it will also fuel future discussions for us ahead. Lord, I pray for our country, Jamaica, that as we recover and we make efforts to build back stronger, that you will be in the midst of it all. Lord, these and other mercies we ask in your wonderful, mighty name. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. So welcome again to everyone joining us in person and those joining us online. So we are very happy to have you here with us today for this special meeting. And today's meeting is especially important as we focus on youth leadership, resilience, and recovery in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. How many of you know someone that has been adversely affected by Hurricane Melissa? Yes. And how many of you like scrolling on social media and sometimes you have to stop because you're just overwhelmed by the destruction and tragedy? How many of you? Yeah, it's real. It's real. My heart goes out for many Jamaicans who are suffering. So this morning's program will be rich because we're looking at that resilience, and we're also going to be having timely presentations, interactive activities, and a play therapy demonstration, very interesting, and meaningful discussions. And of course, when you have a forum like this, what do the audience look forward to the most besides the refreshment? The prizes and surprises. And I look forward to the entertainment too. So we're going to have a special entertainment that you don't know who's coming, but let me tell you, it's going to be pretty good. So you should really stay tuned, those who are watching online, for that rich engagement. But before we begin, some of you who are watching online, maybe hearing about the Youth Thematic Working Group for the first time, and we call it the UTYG, because we're young and we're nice, and right. So the UTYG had its first meeting and by the way, I'd encourage you to listen, those in the audience and those online, listen, because this information might prove helpful a little later in the day, right? So, the first meeting of the TYG group was October 19, 2023. October 19, 2023. And it is a team of different partners and organizations that work together to support Vision 2030 Jamaica. Our goal is to help Jamaica's youth play an active role in building the country guided by the National Youth Policy. The group, of course, is chaired by the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, and the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, serves as the secretariat. So, once again, welcome and thank you for being a part of this important conversation today. It is now my pleasure to introduce the gentleman who steers the ship at the Planning Institute of Jamaica. He is the Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry. Please make him welcome.
Mr. Rajay Danvers, our Master of Ceremony for today. Ms. Yannick Williams, Senior Director in the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. Chair of the Youth Thematic Working Group, TWG, Ms. Leanne Walker, Youth and Policy Analyst in the Youth and Adolescent Policy Division of the Ministry, and co-chair of the Vision 2030 Jamaica Youth, TWG, Ms. Michelle Edwards, Senior Director, Mitigation, Planning and Research, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, Ms. Keisha Tomlinson, President, National Association of Play Therapy, Jamaica, Mrs. Nadine Brown, Director, Sustainable Development at the Planning Institute of Jamaica, members of the Vision 2030 Jamaica Youth, TWG, youth leaders, drivers and innovators, parents, teachers, community leaders and other guardians and protectors, local, regional and international development partners, other interested persons who have joined us virtually as well as in person. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, that's not so bad, but you always say it twice for some reason. Good morning. Good morning. There's an old church, you know, we lost a lot of historic churches in Melissa. There was an old church in a village that had one of these bells, you know, the church bell, that hadn't been rung in a long time. And a young man came and said, "Father, can I ring the bell?" And the priest said, "Well, it hasn't been rung in a long time, but if you want to try." And so the young man climbed up the bell tower and ran with his face and hit the bell, and the bell, bong, just began to ring. Bong, bong, went again. And everybody came out. What? The bell is ringing? Excitement, crowd gathering. And the young man went a third time, missed the bell and fell off the tower. And he was all right, you know, but paramedics came to tend to him. And one of the paramedics says, "Father, do you know this young man?" And the priest says, "Well, to be honest, I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell." Let me say it's my pleasure to greet you on behalf of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, and to express gratitude for your attendance at this special meeting of the Youth TWG. I look forward to a productive session which will bring encouragement and facilitate information sharing. The Youth Thematic Working Group brings together key stakeholders who represent the interests and perspectives of the youth, ensuring their participation in national development planning, implementation, and accountability processes. The TWG acts as a vital link between national and community-level action, promoting fair, just, and equitable alignment and development that engages and benefits all Jamaicans, both locally and in the diaspora. Today we are here to celebrate the role of youth in shaping Jamaica's future, under the theme, Resilience, United in Service, Together Youth Can. This theme is especially fitting in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Jamaica continues to confront significant challenges: the growing impacts of climate change, more intense hurricanes, shocks to our communities, pressures on our most vulnerable groups. Yet even in the face of these realities, we are shaping a future grounded not in fear, but in resilience, innovation, and unity. As outlined in Vision 2030 Jamaica National Development Plan, resilience is not just a buzzword. It is a national strategy for survival and sustainable prosperity. Jamaica cannot afford to remain in what the plan describes as vicious spirals of disaster losses and mounting recovery costs. Instead, we must move decisively into vicious spirals or virtuous spirals of preparedness, mitigation, and effective response. You, our youth, are essential to leading and sustaining this shift. Building resilience is not only about major infrastructure or national policies. It begins with knowledge, innovation, and education. Vision 2030 Jamaica commits us to strengthening hazard risk reduction education at every stage of the learning journey, from early childhood through secondary and tertiary studies and into advanced research. This means equipping you with the skills, tools, and awareness needed to guide your communities in times of crisis and to champion sustainable development. The plan also reminds us that resilience must reach everyone, especially the poor and most vulnerable. Our collective efforts through the Youth TWG and other youth-focused organizations and groups are therefore essential. You are close to the ground. You see the gaps, the risks, and the opportunities. You are the bridge that connects policy to real lives. Your projects, your advocacy, your example help strengthen the protective net for the communities that need it most. Across Jamaica, youth leadership continues to demonstrate what united in service truly means. Whether you are online driving digital campaigns or on the ground supporting hurricane recovery or relief, organizing community groups or developing innovative tech solutions, young people consistently show up. You remind us that resilience is not just about bouncing back. It is about bouncing forward, smarter, stronger, and more connected. As we begin today's meeting, I encourage you, both in this room and online, to keep three things in mind. One, your voice matters in national development. Two, your ideas hold power to influence real policies and programs. And three, your unity makes resilience possible because no single individual or group can do this alone. At the PIOJ, we remain committed to creating the spaces, physical and virtual, that allow young people to lead. Your energy, creativity, and courage are essential to Jamaica's development agenda. As we work towards achieving our long-term national development goals and sustaining our development gains, bridging gaps through 2030 and beyond, one thing is clear. You make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. We must build the future we want with you and not for you. I invite you to share openly, collaborate boldly, and think beyond limitations. Let us continue building a Jamaica where resilience is a culture, service is a way of life, and youth leadership is a national strength. Life is going to rough us up. As my father and those predecessors would have said, life is not a bed of roses. If you want good, your nose, am I in the right place? In Jamaica we say, if you want good, your nose have to run. And life is going to throw us some things that we never saw coming in most of the cases. Life can be rough. And if you're going to achieve anything of moment, we have to learn the ability of resilience, the ability to get back up, the ability to press on in spite of challenge. Even when your feelings get hurt and you're gravely disappointed, we have to continue to press. Look at somebody beside you and say, press on. Come on, tell them, persevere. And a concern we have among even generations coming is sometimes we give up too easily. You can be on the brink, on the cusp of breakthrough. And because your strength gives out, because hope fades, you want to pack up your marbles and quit. But if we are going to achieve anything great, and that defines us as a Jamaican people, spirit of resilience, we have to learn to get up and continue to go forward. Resilience, united in service, together youth can. God bless you all.
You know, it takes an expert to deliver a joke in 60 seconds. I was listening and that feeling that you get to say, let's see where this is going. But that face ringing a bell, truly connected. Thank you, Dr. Henry, for those powerful and insightful words. Through your remarks, we are reminded about the importance of partnership, resilience, and youth leadership as we bounce forward. As we what? Bounce forward. So at this time, we have a special announcement, right? So please join me in welcoming Ms. Leanne Walker, the policy analyst from the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, and the chair of the Vision 2030 Jamaica Youth Thematic Working Group. Make her feel welcome. I would cheer, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Danvers. I will be observing the protocol that has already been beautifully laid out by Dr. Henry. So, all protocols observed. Good morning, everyone. I am sure that we're wondering what is the special announcement today. I think some of our members may have an idea of what the announcement may be, but just to, I guess, get it out of the way. At the last meeting, we announced that our last co-chair, actually departed the group because he is a recipient of the Shevening Scholarship. So he's away studying in England, he's doing a master's in engineering. So the announcement is for our new co-chair. I just want to say that it went through the regular protocol and it was confirmed by the Permanent Secretary's Office of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, and it was also confirmed by the Planning Institute of Jamaica. So let's just get into it. I'm not going to say the co-chair's name until the last minute. So based on the bio, you may have an idea of who the co-chair is because that person actually sits among us, right? So let me go into it. Our new co-chair is a visionary Jamaican leader, widely recognized for his passion, dedication, and transformative impact on youth and communities nationwide. He holds a bachelor degree, a Bachelor of Science in Public Policy and Management, with a minor in Management Studies from the University of the West Indies, providing him with a strong foundation in leadership, policy, and organizational development. He currently serves as a procurement specialist within the government of Jamaica, where he champions transparency, accountability, and efficiency in public procurement, ensuring that national resources are managed strategically to benefit all Jamaicans. Beyond his professional achievements, he is a driving force for youth empowerment and community development. As the founder and executive director of Prosperous Jamaica, he has created programs that have positively touched over 13,000 individuals across 5 parishes, fostering leadership, resilience, and civic engagement among young people. And based on that response, I can tell that someone already knows who the co-chair is, right? So his role as first deputy chairman of the National Youth Council of Jamaica, one of our programs within the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division, I have to say, allows him to advocate for policies and programs that equip the nation's youth with the skills, opportunities, and mindset to become proactive, responsible leaders. Our new co-chair also contributes to national and local development initiatives as a member of the Manchester Parish Development Committee, bringing strategic insight, practical experience, and a youth-focused perspective to shaping policies and programs. His extraordinary contributions have earned him national recognition and regional recognition as well, some of which include the Prime Minister's National Youth Award for Excellence in Nation Building. He's a recent recipient of the last Prime Minister's National Youth Awards. Also, the Ignite Caribbean 30 Under 30, he's also an awardee. The Eternal Father Awards, more specifically the Marcus Garvey Award for Community Leadership and Community Hero. And he's also been awarded for the Loop News Jamaica Labor Day Hero. Renowned for his visionary leadership, unwavering commitment to service, and ability to inspire and mobilize youth. He embodies the qualities of the ideal national youth leader. Through his work, he continues to empower young Jamaicans, strengthen communities, and contribute to building a stronger, more prosperous, and inclusive Jamaica. So I just want to say now, it is my honor to welcome our new co-chair of the Vision 2030 Jamaica Youth Thematic Working Group, Mr. Jerome Hansen. Sir, please stand. So Jerome has been with us for a few years, and so when the opportunity came up, he was first speak. So I just want to say that you will hear from him later on in the program when we go into part 2, as you see on the agenda. So congratulations, Jerome. It is well deserved.
Thank you, Leanne. Isn't she pretty in pink? Yeah, man, I thought we had to tell her collectively, eh? Announcements are normally short, but when you have a bio like that, it takes a few deep breaths, eh? I see Jerome over there is just cringing. Who cringe when they hear the bio being read? Everybody. It's like that listening to your voice note. All right. So now for an icebreaker to get us more energized and productive, yeah? I want to jump into our first giveaway question/activity. So, Youth TWG members, you cannot participate. You're not eligible to answer. That's like almost all of the room, not true? All right. So whether you've joined us online or in person, you're not TWG members, right? And for our online participants, your questions will be posted on our social media platforms at vision2030.ja, on Instagram at vision2030ja, and on Facebook after the live stream. So you'll get your questions. So for those in the room, right? And it's by Dr. Henry. Please, you are going to be the arbitrator because I would imagine a lot of people will be listening. So just look out. So stand up and look out for the hand that goes first. So you can throw. All right, here we go. When did the TWG have its first meeting? All right. No, she is? You are? She's not. What's your name? Tracy Williams. Which group are you from? Prosperous. Oh. Prosperous, Jamaica. Yes, tell me the answer. October 19, 2023. Round of applause. Wonderful. You'll be getting, there's somebody famous who says, you get a car, you get a car. Toy car. But Samantha will make that presentation. Please come up. When I was speaking earlier, I saw her, jotting down, because she's like, I have to leave with something. Congratulations. A round of applause for her again. Yes. If I'm like you, I'd pay attention to what I'm saying so that you can walk away with something in your hand. Not true? Right. So we're going to move into our first presentation this morning. Strengthening Jamaica's youth sector, updates, actions, and post-Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts. This will be presented by the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information. I want to point out that this lovely individual, her name is Miss Unique Williams. She's the Senior Director of the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division, and incredibly passionate about youth. She has been a youth all her life, and I think she'll continue to be a youth all her life. Make her welcome, please, Miss Unique Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Danvers, the charmer of all charmers. There's a special feeling I get when I come into these spaces and see my young people. And I'm proud to say my young people, not because I'm seasoned and mature, because we know that these young people are direct beneficiaries of the youth development sector. And it reminds us that all is not lost. The future of Jamaica really looks good. Mr. Danvers wears many hats. When I entered this morning and I realized that he was a moderator, I asked, what are you representing, who you're representing? He was just technical working group and he was being modest. I'm proud of you as a beneficiary of the youth division and the youth sector. Dr. Wayne Henry, Director General, Planning Institute of Jamaica. Mrs. Peja Brian Lee, Program Director, Vision 2030, Jamaica Secretariat. Mrs. Samantha Wilmot Wilby, Localization and Stakeholder Engagement Coordinator, Vision 2030. Ms. Leanne Walker, Chair of the Technical Working Group and Policy Analyst in the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division. Mr. Jerome Hanson, Co-Chair of the Technical Working Group. Man that wear many hats as well, and congratulations on your recent appointment, a part of the Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica. All right? You added on to the many accolades that Leon highlighted. Congratulations. We have Ms. Keisha Tomlinson, President, National Association Play Therapy, and Mrs. Nadine Brown, Director, Sustainable Development, PIOJ. I have my own team members from the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. And I see my partner in development, Dr. Timar, from the Planning Institute as well, from the Planning Division in the Ministry. We have our other staff members from the PIOJ, our youth stakeholders, friends of youth development. Good morning. As you're aware, I think by now we can say that Youth Month in Jamaica is a staple. Is it? We all know about Youth Month, right? All right. So in November, of course, we celebrated Youth Month, but in a different modality. In our usual fashion, we started our intense planning as early as maybe August, September. We had our lovely proposed ideas. We had a calendar full of activities. Young people like the excitement, they love the business. And I want to also pause to acknowledge the coordinators of the technical working group who quickly pivoted after the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. One of the lovely proposed activities we had was a youth stakeholders forum. And we started to plan. We were engaged in intense planning like everything else. And what you see here is a manifestation of how creative we are, innovative. We pivoted to have this conversation. So a big up to the team from PIOJ, led by Mrs. Wilby and Leanne Walker, Peja, and the team. We really quickly pivoted to have this special technical working group meeting. So we had a slate of activities. We have the likes of the National Youth Parliament. I know National Youth Council of Jamaica proposed their lovely in-residence annual general meeting. We were thinking about Global Night. We were thinking about going to our remote spaces to have the Panda Corner, to have our mobile YSCs. But little did we know that a little Melissa was on us. When Melissa fell on the 28th, I think for one, and the team here can support, it took me a minute to really, accept what was really happening. But I was rather impressed to see how organic youth development really has become and how seamless these youth leaders have been in the space where you have a National Secondary Student Council, DG, you have a National Youth Council of Jamaica, you have the Court of Youth Parliament that really weren't all that affected because they didn't get to sit in Parliament, mock the parliamentary system, for want of a better word. But we're really willing to advocate for themselves, get international partnerships, NGOs to help to support the national relief efforts. It took the division a minute because everybody was looking at us, how are we going to respond? And this brought me back to COVID. In COVID, when COVID happened, everybody else kind of was taken aback, and we were called as creatives to find a solution and have a response. And so we navigated everything to an online modality, and it happened. And we had such an impactful youth month nonetheless. It was same in this modality. What we did as a youth division, as a ministry, was, and I speak and represent the youth sector, we quickly pivoted to support the national relief efforts. So whatever our youth leaders were doing, we were there amplifying that. And what we wanted to do is not just to go in communities, because it was ceremonial, we wanted a moment on social media. We wanted to go in communities where young people were, where people were untouched and underserved. And so we took on 6 relief interventions across communities. I underestimated it. When we went on the first one, it was sort of an assessment. And I said, we can go down. But we realized we're doing 3 days per week. So we were going into St. Anne on Monday, going into St. Elizabeth on Wednesday. It took a toll on us. But when we went there, we were reminded as to why we are the tycoons in the industry of youth development. We were just impressed in terms of how resilient our people were. We didn't necessarily go only to distribute care packages, but I know this is really the forte of the PIOJ, but we wanted to get information from young people. How are you affected? How can we support you? Youth development is not one-off, and it's not just a conversation. And so we're very deliberate in basically talking to young people. We have an intervention that we call Pandicana. And Pandicana, P-A-N-D-I-C-O-R, Pandicana is where we reach young people where they are in their organic spaces, talk to them. Where are you? Especially those of our NEET youth. We know who our NEET youth are? Lisa? We know our NEET youth. All right. Especially those of our NEET youth, we basically have conversations with them. What are you doing? What are your inclinations? What are you interested in? What are the aspirations? And we see how we can engage those young people. What we didn't realize that those relief interventions gave us the opportunity to have those pandicorners where we log. Simone had a tablet and she was going around with some youth volunteers collecting information. How can we support you going forward? And though Youth Month did not mirror the creative, fancy modality that we were accustomed to, we were able to make serious impact in terms of how we can refer some of these young people to formal education opportunities, formal training opportunities, and also connect the dots with our youth empowerment officers across Jamaica and our youth innovation centers. I want to just name a couple of the communities that we were able to impact. So we went to Trelawney, we went to Woodgrove, Litchfield, we went to Hanover, Kingsvale, Cocoon, Blenheim. I'm not sure if the pronunciation is on point, DJ, you can correct me for this one, Blenheim. St. James went to Pitford, Granville, St. Elizabeth went to Springfield, Pisgah, St. Anne we did Liberty Valley, Shooters Hill, Summerhill. And we had our lovely partner on. The Heart and Estate Trust is a constant support and partner to our youth development initiatives, particularly Prime Minister's Youth Awards of Excellence and the National Youth Month. And so they led the initiative, particularly in Westmoreland, with their young people distributing care packages. The division, with support from the National Youth Month Committee, distributed over 1,000 care packages. We look about with Talawa, we begged all we could, we bought what we couldn't beg, and went into these communities and distributed over 1,000 care packages. Of course, the activities, as I mentioned before, looked differently, but we managed to have 2 in-person activities. We wanted church, we call it a faith-based celebration, is very big on our agenda. Usually we start our youth month with church, but we didn't get to start our youth month with church, so we ended in Manchester with church. I love the Thanksgiving that we had on Sunday. We had our young people there from our youth council, from our newly appointed members from the YACJ, the Jamaica Prefecture Body, Jamaica Union of Tertiary Students, and we came out and we worshiped because we are here in Kingston, and we always have to remember Kingston is not Jamaica. And it looks somewhat normal for us until we get an idea, going to the western end of the island, central, the 6 affected parishes, and you realize that the realities are different. So we have much to give God thanks for. High on the agenda for Youth Month, Leon would have mentioned it, I alluded to it earlier, we were able to announce and appoint our new Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica, and this is the 5th cohort of the Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica. Is a 20-member council that facilitates continuous engagement of young people in youth development policy and programming actions of government. The YSCJ, you know, the ministry, it's funny, we're a ministry of acronyms. And sometimes we have to remember we're not presenting for ourselves. So the YSCJ, Youth Advisory Council, is one structure geared towards the fulfillment of Goal 6 of the CARICOM Youth Development Goals and prior to Area 4 of the National Youth Policy, which seeks to ensure and enhance youth participation in all levels of decision-making, program implementation, and oversight. The YSCJ officially met with our minister, Senator Dr. the Honorable Morris Dixon, last week, and were promptly welcomed to another Youth Advisory Council member newly appointed, Ms. Christina Williams. Were promptly integrated in their roles and were assigned to research in various policy areas that demanded their expertise and critical thinking advancing the ministry's youth development journal. One of the Youth Advisory Council's objectives is to integrate the needs of young people into government's policies and integrating strategies through youth mainstreaming. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information through the Youth Division continues to provide these and similar platforms for youth to maximize their fullest potential. The Youth and Adolescents Policy Division supports the youth sector by developing and implementing national policies, managing empowerment programs, and operating youth innovation centers island-wide. The YAPD focuses on 6 core areas for youth development based on the National Youth Policy 2017 to 2030. Policy and planning, program implementation, youth empowerment and participation, skills and capacity building. The YAPD collaborates with other organizations such as the Heart and Estate Trust, as I would have mentioned before, to expand training opportunities for particularly unattached and underserved communities. The successful implementation of Jamaica's national youth policy relies on coordinating efforts with multiple stakeholders. The YAPD collaborates with government agencies, the private sector, NGOs, communities, and international partners to ensure comprehensive support for young people. The YAPD enables positive youth development through policy initiatives, programming, and participation, partnering with stakeholders to ensure inclusiveness in education, employment, and well-being. This work directly contributes to achieving the SDGs by empowering young people with the skills and opportunities needed to participate in and lead national development. The Youth Division continues to be a training ground for young people. We continue to create a safe space for young people where they can access the tools they need to be well-adjusted, positive role models, and exceptional leaders, unlocking their untapped and maximum potential. As youth development continues to evolve, our youth development practitioners are also learning and unlearning and are influenced and inspired by the invaluable insights that our young people have to offer. We consistently adjust and adapt to their diverse needs, though through positive youth development lens. I believe firmly that Jamaica has a great model for youth development. You believe that? And has many best practices and remarkable approaches for informing the global youth development space. Let us continue, to our youth leaders, let us continue to be unstoppable, remarkable, and resilient as a people as we collectively build Jamaica. And the theme for Youth Month has originally conceptualized would have been Youth Can. But we went back, and because we're creatives, we're innovative, we wanted to see how we could support a national relief thrust. And so we added on Youth Can Rebuild Jamaica. And that is a campaign that we'll be carrying, and the messaging that we'll be carrying throughout the entire 25, 26, and up to 2030, because it's really a call to action to remind our young people that they're architects of change and development. Continue to support youth development. It's looking good for Jamaica. Continue to show up and be consistent. Have a lovely day.
Rebuild Jamaica. There's a video. Thanks, Ian. Go ahead. 2, 3. Youth can rebuild Jamaica.
We shall rise.
and spread our wings once again.
We shall rise again.
With the help from our brothers and our friends.
We shall rise again.
We've done it before, now we can do it once again.
We shall rise again.
Take a bit of help from our family and friends.
A moment of change and now we're spinning. The warning is sent, no reason why.
We gather our strength and we are not willing.
Pull together now.
To do what it takes to save some lives. Oh no, no.
Tragedy came and really gave us.
Wow, that was pretty good, pretty good. You know what was interesting from Unique Williams' presentation? You know, she said the ministry is really the tycoons in youth development. Isn't that interesting? And isn't it also interesting that the ministry demonstrated in COVID and in Melissa's response its ability to pivot? And most of us who lead in organizations and serve can attest to that opportunity that you have, that you were shifted in a direction to change course, to pivot. And it's pretty good that we have that ability as a people to respond to challenges that comes our way. Now, a pretty interesting part of today's session, we're looking at healing through play. Healing through play. And it's guided activities for children, youth, and families coping with post-hurricane trauma. And this is going to be presented by Ms. Keisha Tomlinson, who is the president of the National Association of Play Therapy Jamaica. You know about that group? You know about that place? All right, so show of hands. Well, show me a pen. To participate, you need a pen. So hold up your pen. And for those who are online, if you're at your desk, if you're in a living room, if you're in a kitchen, go get a pen. And you have a paper, right? You all got papers. Christina, you have your pen and paper? Good. I'm picking on you because Yanni did earlier. Right. So I see the secretariat ensuring that folks get some pens and some paper. Great. So, Ms. Tomlinson, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Good morning to those in the room and those joining us online. Thank you for being here today. So today's my task to explore with you how play can support children, youth, and families in the recovery process after the hurricane. Now, as the National Association of Play Therapy, our mission is to promote play as a bridge to healing, safety, and resilience. Now, I want to ask, when you think of play, what comes to mind? And I want you to reflect, and those who are online can type it in the chat. What was your favorite childhood game? I want to hear from you. What was your favorite childhood game? What were the feelings and thoughts that went through your mind when you were playing that game? Who taught you how to play that game? I'm hearing Dandy Shandy. Yes, I used to love that one. What was the feeling attached when you played Dandy Shandy? Let me hear some feelings. Happy. Yes. Anybody else? What was your favorite childhood game? Chinese skip. What was the feeling attached? when you think of Chinese skip? Joy and more joy. Thank you. Anyone else? 1, 2, 3, red light. What was the feeling attached for you? Fun and more fun, right? And I hear another game in the center. Stocky. I remember Stocky. What was the feeling attached for Stocky? Fun, right? When we think about games, we think about joy, we think about fun, we think about pure excitement. And as children, you don't even want to stop. You forget that you're hungry. You're not hungry when you're playing. You are free, right? And you are having great, great fun. So it was, games are like the happy place for a child. Now, play, as was mentioned earlier, create that happy place. It releases endorphins, those happy, emotions. It's about creativity. It's about spontaneity. It's about freedom. And for us as practitioners, play is used as a therapeutic modality. So you have what is called a play therapist, and you have therapeutic play practitioner. And for those two professions, the main objective in the use of play has a therapeutic goal. And it is used to help persons, or in particular children, who are struggling, who might have emotional issues, who might have mental health issues, and even for special needs, those who are autistic, and those who might be having ADHD. And what play does, play allows children to use that opportunity to express themselves. They don't need words when you are playing. And so therefore it helps them. It's their language. Play is the language of children, and toys are like to them, that medium that they can communicate. Is toys become their words. So they'll select particular toys to use in the therapeutic space that speaks for them. Play allows children to understand and to process what's happening around them. Unlike adults who will sit and talk for hours, children don't have that vocabulary to express themselves. And therefore, they use that to communicate and to understand and process what might be happening around them. And if you observe children, they might go to school and something happens. And they have teddy bears and dolls, and they come home and you see them talking to the doll as the teacher and disciplining the doll and asking for homework. They are processing what happened at school today in a way that they can understand. Now, we are going to play this morning. And so, I want you to take out your paper and your pens. And if you have a pencil, that's fine. Pencil or pen. And this activity, we're not going to cheat. Raise your hands, those in the room who are honest people. Raise your hands if you are an honest person. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. So we will have no cheating this morning. And I want you to close your eyes. That's the first instruction. And remember, we are not cheaters. So we're going to keep those eyes closed. And then I want you to draw a big circle on your paper with your eyes closed. A big circle. Then I want you to add the eyes. Keep your eyes closed. We're not cheating now. Then I want you to add the nose. And then we're going to add the mouth. And then we're going to add the ears. Then we're going to add a hat on the, on the head. And then we're going to add the neck. And then we're going to add a scarf around the neck. Very good. Now I want you to open your eyes and look at your beautiful creation and show the person next to you. How did we do? I hear lots of laughter, but how? Did it make sense? Are we seeing a face? Are we seeing the hat on the head? Do we have a neck? Were we able to create that neck? Do we have the scarf? Very good. Now, the question is, how did that make you feel? Fun in the end or fun doing it? What other feeling did we have? It made you relax. But when you look on the drawing, what are you seeing? Is everything in alignment? Are the eyes in the right place? No. I am looking at a drawing and I see the mouth is way off, like it's about to drop off the face. Oh my. and I'm seeing the neck not really connected very well. And the scarf is on the floor, not around the neck, almost as if the person can't see, And in the same way, when we think about the hurricane, it was as if we lost our balance. Just like you, the children experienced some strong emotion. And there was a lot of disruption and chaos, especially in parts that were badly affected by the hurricane. And as adults, we experienced shock, fear, anxiety, that sense of helplessness and confusion. Everything seemed, chaotic. Children also have these feelings as well. Just like us. They experience fear, separation and loss, grief, numbness, regression. Certain things that they used to do, all of a sudden they're not able to do that anymore. Having nightmares, wetting themselves, being very anxious. And so, why play? That's the question. And why play after a crisis? We play because if we don't play, we will pay. If you can't laugh, if you're not able to move your body because trauma is stored in the body. So if we can't move our bodies, if we can't play, if we can't laugh, if we can't relax, then we're going to pay. And who are we going to pay? The doctors. We're going to be running to the doctors for medication, for stress, for pain in the back of our neck, headache, tension, headache, shoulders, you name it, anxiety, can't sleep at night. But if we are able to play and play as a family, some of you, you may be able to remember those times you used to play as a family. And it was a way of connecting at a deeper level. Because in this setting, mommy and I are like on the same page. Right? I'm not being judged. I am free. I can lead. And everybody seemed calm and happy. And I have the confidence to express myself more and more freely. And certain things that children would not normally say, somehow during this play moment, they're able to get into those deeper things with you. And so, we play before the crisis and we play after a crisis. And as a family, you play together to help create that balance. One of the things that happened after the hurricane is that we feel unbalanced. We're trying to find our footing or grounding once again. And somehow play can help to ground us again. It helps in regaining that sense of safety for the children. It helps in releasing overwhelming emotions, in rebuilding our problem-solving skills, and in connecting with one another once again. Restoring hope. Now, there are three things that we must bear in mind as we work with children, especially during this time. And I know there are youth workers in the audience and online. One of the first things as you go out and you're working and engaging these children, one of the first things you want to secure is safety. You want to check to make sure that the environment is safe, that persons are physically safe and are emotionally secure. You want to check in. How are you feeling? Right? What is happening? How are you feeling today? So physical safety and emotional safety. You want to ensure that at first. Then, another thing that is important is structure. We want to get back to our routine, right? To what's, the structure that is predictable routine to help children regulate their nervous system once again. Remember, if you are doing something and it's unpredictable, what happened? How do you feel? Anxious, because you don't know what is going to happen. You feel fearful, uncertain. But if you know that when you get up at 8, you go to school, at 2:30 school ends, you come home, and then we have homework time, family time, dinner time, and bedtime, then there is a routine. Right? And so your body now will respond normally. Right? And as we wrap up, another thing that is important is expression. And so it is important for us to create the opportunity for children to express themselves. Express themselves through various creative forms. Right? So you support children during this time by providing those opportunities through music, creative expression. Through music, you engage them in sports, storytelling, and just playing. Remember, we started off with the ring games. Even ring games, board games, whatever little activity that would enjoy joy and pleasure and fun. You want to engage the children during this time in those activities that will help them to regulate their nervous system, that will help them to relax, that will help them to feel safe once again. And for us, it's important for us to play. If we don't play, then we will pay. Thank you so much.
If you don't play, what will you do? Yes, I don't mind getting paid to play. I wouldn't mind that. I would sign up for that any day, anytime. Wasn't that an interesting activity? Yes. Most of you should be proud of your artwork. Don't be ashamed if you know. Take a picture, post it on your stories, and say, this is my finest work yet. All right, for those who are online. I'm very curious about what yours look like. If you're bold enough, upload it and tag. Yeah, you might get a prize. They might invite you to come down to PIOJ to pick up something. You know, but you have to show us proof that you closed your eyes, you know. So you have to work on that part. We're moving swiftly, and we're moving to the part of understanding the damage and loss and how this information aids Jamaica's recovery efforts. The person who will be presenting that is Mrs. Nadine Brown. She is the Director of the Sustainable Development, the Director of Sustainable Development in the Planning Institute of Jamaica. Yes, so please make her welcome. And I hope you have a game for us too, you know. I'm joking.
Good morning, everyone. All protocol observed. Good morning to everyone who is joining us online. One thing Keisha didn't say about playing is that sometimes you get some scars. I still have Dandy Shandy scar right up here. So, anyway, this morning I'll be speaking to you a little bit about measuring the effects and the impact of disasters and how the PIOJ fits into that particular process. Okay. All right, so many of you are familiar with headlines like the ones you're seeing on your screen. After any given disaster, what we often see is the cost of the disaster on particular sectors, whether it be infrastructure, whether it be on housing, roads, whatever the sector may cover. And you may often ask what drives these figures, who comes up with these figures, and why do we need to know the cost of the effects of a particular disaster? Well, this presentation will try to answer some of those questions. We'll look a little bit at our vulnerability as a country, what disasters have in common, the role of the PIOJ in the disaster risk management framework, and what post-disaster impact assessments look like. And we'll just touch a little bit on youth considerations in the disaster impact assessment process. Some quick facts about our vulnerability, which most of you would know already. We are vulnerable to a number of natural and climate-related hazards. Now, while we are vulnerable to other types of hazards, man-made hazards as well, I'm going to focus the conversation more on the hazards that we're most familiar with. So we are familiar with earthquakes, floods, landslides, storms, hurricanes, and slow onset events like droughts and sea level rise. Jamaica has been described as being climate sensitive, and our own Prof. Michael Taylor described that as when our economies and the daily ordering of life of the people and the natural systems are extremely responsive to variations in climate on whatever time scale they occur. What makes us climate sensitive? Just where we're located. We're in the Atlantic hurricane belt. Since 1940, we have had over 60 storms and hurricanes. Over 16 of them have been major hurricanes over Category 3. We have a small landmass and topography which influence where we settle. So we have over 60% of our population living within 5 kilometers of the coastline. Our key economic sectors like tourism, agriculture, they are heavily dependent on favorable climatic conditions, and there's low adaptive capacity in these sectors. The droughts that we experience almost on an annual basis is a reminder that we are heavily dependent on rainfall as the main source of replenishing our water resources. And although we are exposed to different types of hazards, the disasters that they cause have three things in common. They have effects, so that's damage to physical assets and loss or change in economic flows, and I'll speak about this a little bit more. They also impact our macroeconomy, the health of our economy, and most importantly, the quality of human life and the effects on livelihoods. They also have a recovery cost of reconstruction, cost of restoration and rehabilitation. And we would hope that in the recovery, we focus on building back better or building with resilience. So just a quick coverage of what damage and loss is. So damage really looks at the effects a disaster has on the assets of each sector, the physical assets, whether it is your building, your roads, or your machinery. Loss, on the other hand, looks at what is the value of the goods that are no longer produced or the services that's no longer produced. So when your tourism sector is down, you lose revenue from tourists not coming in, purchasing items, etc. The hotels lose. Additional cost is what you have to put in place just in order to tide you over until you are restored or until you have reconstructed whatever has been lost. So in the case of our hospitals, if you have to set up a field hospital, that's additional cost. In the case of our schools, if we have to rent a particular building in order to have classes, that's additional cost. So all of that is considered when we're assessing loss and damage. And how does the PIOJ fit into all of this? You may be asking. Let's go back to our National Disaster Risk Management Council, or framework. The framework consists of, it's led by our Prime Minister, who is a chairman of the National Disaster Risk Management Council, and it is coordinated by the Director General of the ODPM. And the council has 7 committees which support all its activities. And the committees are shown there, and how the PIOJ fits in is that it chairs the Recovery Planning Committee. So our Director General is the chairperson of the Recovery Planning Committee. And that committee basically ensures that adequate mechanisms are in place for effective recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. And all of that is towards improving the lives and livelihoods of persons who were impacted by a particular event, improving the infrastructure, the environment, and also the capacities of the organizations involved in disaster risk management to ensure that they can withstand the future hazards, or they are equipped to handle future hazards. I'm going very quickly because I know we have 10 minutes. So where the PIOJ comes in is that we conduct post-disaster impact assessment. Now, we work very closely with the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. They conduct an initial damage assessment to just get a sense of what are the immediate needs and what is required for early recovery. And there's a handshake between the ODPM and the PIOJ. When they complete this initial damage assessment report, we take the baton and we prepare a more detailed damage and loss assessment report. And we have used 2 methodologies in the past: the damage and loss assessment methodology, or the post-disaster needs assessment methodology. And these are internationally recognized methodologies that were developed by the UN and the World Bank. For Hurricane Melissa, however, we'll be using the damage and loss assessment methodology. And because of the scale of the disaster, we'll be getting some support from the United Nations and the IDB. Now, normally, the report is prepared by the PIOJ with the support of a damage and loss assessment core team. Now, that core team is chaired by the PIOJ. It's placed on alert at the start of the hurricane season, but really it should be placed on alert at the start of the year because disasters can occur at any time. It comprises representatives from various ministries, departments, and agencies, including the private sector and or utility companies. And we basically, whenever there's a disaster event, These various sector representatives are responsible for collating the information on damage, loss, additional cost related to each sector. So they prepare sector reports that's submitted to the PIOJ, and we compile a larger report, including a section that looks at the macroeconomic impact of the disaster, and we basically provide the government with a cost, an overall cost of the event and the impact on GDP. So the Institute pulls this information together and submits the report to the Ministry of Finance and the public sector with a cabinet submission, and that is submitted to cabinet. So what have these reports, how do they support the recovery efforts? We have used it to quantify the social and financial recovery needs associated with a particular disaster, and we try to emphasize building back better. We use it to identify whether there are resources within the country or international resources that we can access to support our recovery efforts. We also use it to design and implement resilience building projects. For example, out of the Hurricane Dean report, there was a Hurricane Dean Studies project which generated vulnerability assessments for 4 communities which were repeatedly impacted by hurricanes and storms. And these reports and maps, etc., were handed over to the municipal corporations for those particular parishes. We have used it to support the preparation of policies and plans, and one very important policy is the National Natural Disaster Risk Financing Policy. And we have also used it to define government priorities of intervention by geographic area, sectors, and population groups. And I'll speak a little bit about the youth shortly. And this is just a quick overview of the estimated impact of natural disasters as a share of GDP over a number of years from 2000 to 2024. And I guess by the time we put Beryl up there, it will supersede all of what you're seeing there now. Over the last 24 years, we have had over $194 billion in loss and damage, or 1.3% of GDP. So you heard DG spoke to it. He said that we have to get out of this cycle of loss and damage and having to recover and using resources that are scarce, etc., to recover. We have to come out of this cycle and build back better. Okay, wrapping up. So youth, how do we consider youth in the entire process? Youth, we recognize in the process that youth are disproportionately impacted by disasters. There is disruption of schooling, and you heard Keisha speak to it earlier. There's heightened vulnerability to exploitation. And when we prepare our report, youth considerations are streamlined right throughout the report, whether it's when we're looking at schools, the damage to schools, interruption in the teaching learning process, the employment and livelihoods, how disasters affect youth employment, health and protection, psychosocial impacts. You heard Keisha spoke about that earlier as well, and risk of exploitation or violence against youth. And we also see youth not only as victims of the disaster, but also as catalysts in helping restoration. So they can help with restoration and recovery planning, and so they're also considered in the recovery planning process in that way. So key takeaways, these assessments, the damage and loss assessments assist governments in estimating the extent of the disasters and the impact it has on the various sectors, and this is towards the development of an appropriate recovery strategy focused on building back better. It is also useful for tracking the cost of loss and damage over the years, just to see how much we have been spending, how much it has been costing the government, and also to inform the building of resilient building projects and programs. And also that youth are considered mainly through sectoral impacts, whether it is education or employment, and they are highlighted as a vulnerable group whose needs must be addressed in recovery planning. Thank you.
194 billion. I wonder what we could do with all that money as a country today. Wow, that's a lot of money. So, here's another icebreaker for you with another question. All right, just reminding those who are online that you can participate, and your questions will be posted via the platforms, Instagram and Facebook, at vision2030.ja. So, which committee of the National Disaster Risk Management Council does the PIOJ chair? Which committee? Oh, Dr. Henry, remember, you have to, right. You're appointed until the duration of this. And by the way, you can't put it in ChatGPT. Again, which committee of the National Disaster Risk Management Council does the PIOJ chair? All right? Yes. A round of applause. What's the name? Trudy Lee Banton. Which organization? Panton. Representing the homeschool community. Congratulations. Come forward for your prize. Yes. Please. I want you to tell me how you knew that. What gave it away? Because majority of the room was like, I don't know that. I must say, where am get that from? She take good notes, huh? Another round of applause for Miss Panton. Thank you, Mrs. Wilby, for making that presentation. All right. I hear that if that one goes quickly, I can do another one. I'm allowed to, yes. So, here's the other question now. Here's the other question. Here we go. After a stressful event, like a hurricane, you following? What is one way play can help children? Okay, I saw your hand first. Around the back. Yes, come. Oh, no, man, at the back. At the, yes. Judges, a round of applause. All right. What's your name? Samantha Johnson. From which organization? The ministry. Oh, the Peace Building Ministry. A round of applause. Samantha. Yes, we'll come to you with your prize. Good. We're moving. So, our next presentation comes from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. Hurricane Melissa. We're zooming in on Hurricane Melissa. We're looking at the national impact and a youth-friendly guidance for recovery. This will be done, presented by Miss Michelle Edwards, who's a senior director with responsibility for mitigation, planning, and research from ODPEM. Please make her welcome.
Okay, good. Is it still morning? Morning. Good morning, everyone. And it is so good to be here. I'm learning so much about the youth thematic aspects of the Vision 2030. And that is a very good thing. So, Hurricane Melissa. National impact and the role of Jamaica on youth in recovery and resilience. And I just wanted to just put these questions forward. Why youth leaders matter in disaster recovery? And three of the things that sort of crossed my mind, that youth account for a significant portion of Jamaica's population, and youth are tomorrow's leaders. The young people are first responders in their households and communities, and the youth-led innovation strengthens national resilience. So that is just a little opener. So we look at a little bit on the national picture for Hurricane Melissa. We look at the assessments that have been done, which is a critical part of the national disaster response process. And we look at some of the sectors that we work with, and then the role of youth in disaster management. So, as we all recall very vividly, Hurricane Melissa, traveling south of Jamaica, not too sure what she was trying to do, but eventually made a turn towards the western end of the country and causing significant impact to the western section of the island. So you heard a lot about damage and loss and costs. So I won't bother to go into that, but just to note that this hurricane affected us on the 28th of October, and it is the strongest storm that has affected us since 1988. Now, in terms of the overview of the national impact, Melissa has had far-reaching effects. Has had far-reaching effects and impacts across Jamaica, affecting communities, infrastructure, livelihoods, and critical services. And while coordinated preparedness efforts reduce casualties, the storm caused widespread destruction and placed significant pressure on the national response and recovery system. Now, based on the track of the storm, and that is the red line in the middle of this diagram here. If I can use this pointer properly. Okay. We have it coming across the western section of the island. And incidentally, one of the things that struck me was that we heard that Melissa made landfall at a place called New Hope. I don't know. So maybe that's a nice challenge for the youth. New Hope. Okay, all right. So these are the parishes that were significantly impacted. You have the deep red, the worst impacted parishes at St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And then you have Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney, a little lighter red. And then St. Anne, which is in yellow. And one of the ways that we classify damage, it's 4 levels of damage. We have a level 1, which is no damage at all. And then we have level 2, which is minor damage, level 3, which is major damage, and level 4, which is totally destroyed. And this next image will give us a sort of idea of some of the damage impacts across the western section of the island. Those deep reds are the totally destroyed. This is an early version of a map that was done And as we go along and we do the assessments, more data is collected. So most of the severely impacted parishes, and we call them the Big Five. And so here we have some images of sandy ground in St. Elizabeth. And you have severe roof damage, infrastructure damage, and destruction. Down trees in this area. We have, I think this is Black River Hospital, which is totally destroyed. I think this is also Black River as well, where we have total destruction. Okay, Black River. And then this one is in Savlamar. So there are several images of damage as we go through. These are images across Western Jamaica. So just to give you an idea of what the actual damage looks like for those who haven't been out there as yet. So that's just a quick snapshot of how the damage looks. In this picture, we have Hanover up in the top. We have Bogue St. James in the middle. We have John's Hall and St. James on the far right. And then on the bottom, we have Cambridge in St. James. We have Trelawney in the middle and Irwin St. James at the far left. So these are some of the images of the impacts. Now, I just wanted to pull out this slide to just to highlight that how the assessments are done, the damage assessment. So where you see the photographs and the lines to various locations on the map, that is depicting the damage at that particular location. And then, of course, how the assessments are done. We have persons that would go out and map this information, pick up the information by geotagging. I have 1 minute left. Oh, dear. Okay, see, I'm getting all involved in this thing. All right, so in terms of some of the challenges and the successes that we have had, some of the successes is strengthened early warning and communication systems. Of course, before the hurricane, we had a lot of information that was coming out from the press briefings that the government was having, information that the RPM and the Met Office was providing, and so on. Then you have, of course, the broad use of SMS messages, and the providers were able to send messages to persons, their cell phones, so that we could have information. Some of the challenges now would be things like access. That slowed down us getting into a lot of the communities in the rural areas that were impacted. Some of the innovation that took place, we had drones, the use of drone mapping, use of GIS and GPS damage assessment reporting, and the use of satellite imagery. And of course, this is an example of how the satellite imagery was used, those areas that we see with the blues, flooded areas that were flooding. And so the satellite would pick up where the water was lodged and located in some of these areas. So that is satellite imagery. And one of the innovations that I wanted to talk about, and I know that young people would probably love this, it's called Chat Map. Anybody ever heard about it? So it is your WhatsApp, and you can pick up the location where you're standing, and then you take a photograph, and then once you carry that back to your office or wherever, you can put that on a map. And so you have the location mapped and you have a photograph. And that was innovation that was used in Melissa, where we called for the public to be empowered in using this technology, the chat map. All right, I'm going to skip these. Well, these just to show you some of the sectors that we're working with, especially in recovery, to bring things back to some kind of stabilization. And I'm going to skip these. So what are we doing now? And I just wanted to show where we are. We are currently at 100 active shelters, still activated. We have approximately 869 affected population. We, of course, have 45 deaths, and of course 259 approximately 1,000 packages that have been delivered. Over 300 million in humanitarian, in meals delivered as well. And of course, the utilities, the restoration, and the damage assessment continues for the utility companies, and we hear that information daily. So I just wanted to just quickly get to what is it that youths can do to support disaster recovery. And one of the things that would be quite important is that youths can do things immediately after a disaster. So you can share information in your communities, you can assist your neighbors, you can assist vulnerable persons in the community. Some communities would have disaster plans, and so in those plans they would know who are the vulnerable persons, where they live, and so persons can be, of course, tasked to support. You can volunteer in terms of supporting evacuation, shelter setup, needs assessment. We can also support the national recovery effort. So youths can volunteer with the Red Cross, national government organizations, school clubs, and we have a lot of that. And we can help to map community risks and assets. We can support distribution and of relief supplies, and of course engaged in community needs assessment and surveys. Now, one of the things that was spoken about already was the psychosocial concerns when we have a disaster. And I know that everybody's artwork can be sold for at least $500,000. That was done today. But notwithstanding, we must learn to recognize the signs of stress and anxiety and trauma among our peers, and of course create this space for youth, for children to be able to recover. And I liked the word routine. I think the presenter before spoke about routine, and routine is even good for adults. So, and we're seeing here some initiative by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, where they say JCF Cares, and this is an initiative where they're looking at helping our children, especially in those affected communities. So I just have 2 more slides. And so these are some long-term resilience building activities that youths and young people can participate in. Of course, you have the clubs, we have the Youth Ambassador Program, and ODPEM has a Youth Ambassador Program. So we need to see how we can look at the work that's being done under the Vision 2030 so that the Youth Ambassador can also be captured there. And I just wanted to speak about one groundbreaking event that took place in 2021, when Jamaica hosted the regional platform for disaster risk reduction, which is a conference, a big conference for the Americas, all of the Americas, that was held here in Jamaica. And in that conference, it is a conference that happens every 2 years. But for that year, the very first time, Jamaica included in its in the conference planning a youth forum for DRR, and that was a space where young people were able to articulate their issues on disaster management, and there was a whole day of presentations and initiatives that young people participated in. So in closing, youths are central to Jamaica's long-term development and resilience goals. And of course, our actions today will shape our Jamaica for tomorrow. So my encouragement for you is to stay informed, stay prepared, and stay engaged. And let us build a safer, stronger Jamaica together. Youth leadership is the engine of resilience. And I must congratulate you on your theme, Youth Can Rebuild Jamaica. Thank you.
Thank you, ADPEM, for showing us the real numbers and showing your coordinating role and encouraging Jamaica's young people, through this platform to get involved in the process of recovery. It's now time for a special surprise, right? It's an entertainment segment. And now I want you to get ready a little bit. We're going to shift gears and we're going to move into a high energy performance. And here you'll see all the latest moves. But there's a caveat. The first segment, you'll be watching High Flames dance. But the second segment, I'm going to leave it until I get back. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for High Flames. Now keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going, man. Thank you. The music is queued up. Wait, so how many still take out on the phone? You have to get this on TikTok. You have to go on live. But wait until I hear time. I want to see if Dr. Henry know how to, Don't get me started. My team will tell you, I'll embarrass you all, right? Dr. Henry, we're not talking about your dance moves, We're talking about our dance moves.
I see. I like that.
We're talking about fling and... Wait, is fling there? No, that's a long time. Dash. Yeah, we're not talking about Miss Carrie go bring come. We're not talking about the scare. We're talking about our type of music. No, mentor, no, not Yannick era. We know the song I say, no, not Yannick era. We're talking about take it easy, I will do. Remember, you're a youth for life. High Flames ready. They're queued up. Dr. Henry says the young people don't know about bubbling. But I have you know that every time we think we've gotten enough, Ding Dong comes with something new again.
I want flames now. Hey, Agosa. Hey, I'm Mr. Come, me selector, play the selection. Me want dance till I'm morning. Hey, bend up your right hand, swing it on the left hand. I'm gonna kick off the ball like me Sam. What's a rocker? Show me a jest of the rock you make you. You know, see it say a kaka run it down, a kaka mash it up, a kaka make it dance, and a kaka make it bust. So swing your hand, so we go, what's a dance, get you rock. Hey, show them up at me say rock. No wall fatty she a dance. Move your feet like you a slide pan a gas. All me granny she a dance. If you want see grandpa, just give me. And me say come me selector, play the selection. Me want dance till a morning. Hey, bend up your right hand, swing it on the left hand. I'm gonna kick coffee. Boss a rock car, show me ya. Touch the next one. Touch the next one for me. I want flames in now. Go so. Go so. I'm going to teach you that one here now. Forward. I'm going to teach you that one here. Ah, flames rock. Go so. Go so. Go so. Go so. Flames rock have to take over. Nova Scotia. I say, me take a. Why? Pull it up there, pull it up. No, sir. Pull it up for me there. Hey, I got some. I want the flames in now. Hey, I got some. Hey, a flames rock. Oh, dad, you're too bad. Flames rock have to take over. Nova Scotia, me bossy bunks, everybody touch your shoulder. I to the left, man, I rock it like coaster. Full suit, a close cologne, a Tom Ford. Let me take a next step. And she a move to the beat, catch your foot there. I mean no take chat, you ready headset. Me just a singing at the boat, I mean not take no check. Go so. So catchy, me still a dance. So catchy, dance, me still a dance. So catchy, dance, me still a dance. So catchy, a flames rock. Oh dad, you're too bad. We get the next one, bro. We get the next one, bro.
Promoted.
Hey.
You are now one of my elite employees.
Hey, I'm be say. Full of style, so me skiller than them. We a bring back a dance Macarena, but then all over on the place. We not hear from them from when we are put in the work. That's why we are. Me a take it to them from Stokey. Now me kill the beat, come in a rookie. Still a slingshot smooth with it. We not crooked. Everybody do the dance, go so. Hey, and everybody do the dance. Brandon a mash up in a better. Catchy dance, baby dirt a winner. 1 Maca, 2 Maca, 3 Macarena. Hey, and everybody do the dance. Nico a mash up in a better. Catchy dance, car 50 a winner. 1 Maca, 2 Maca, 3 Macarena. Full of style, so me flow like river. Me full of Kyle and me charge you really bunks a dance. You can't figure out the work for put in. Me name fi get bigger. Young star man a public figure. Big bima a drive and never see that. You catch a flame jack, me do it and never see that. Do the dance, go so. Hey, and everybody do the dance. Brandon a mash up in a better. Catchy dance, baby dirt a winner. 1 Maca, 2 Maca, 3 Macarena. Hey, and everybody do the dance. DJ a mash up in a better. Catchy dance, car 50 a. I got introduce the high flames them too, no. Baby dirt there. Where baby dirt, watch ya. Baby dirt. Baby dirt. Baby dirt. Baby dirt. Baby dirt. Baby dirt. This is 50. A 50. Watch ya. A 50. Hey. 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 This is wibble. Alright, watch ya. Wibble. 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 Wibble, wibble, and this is thing. Watcha. I dig this. 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 Wait, this is DJ. Adija, watcha. Adija. 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 Touch the next one, bro. That player heard him, man. Touch the next one. Next one.
You have been promoted.
Alright, look like the selector now. No more, I guess. The next one. That is it. I want flames in now. Watch the vibes when we bring us up. Turn it up. Watch the jam, mash it up. That style you go stay so them curry up. If you can't catch it, dance up, you hurry up. Huh? Hurry up, huh? That dance you too bad, that bet you can't catch this bet, say ya. Purple jeans, I beat it authentic. Stepping at the beast, a GLE. So catch his style where the whole of them want do. High flames a lead when I ask you. Baby dirt I call you. Beat them, teach you, make ya. Cut your hand like a pananac. Yo, catch 50 and a clap. Better say was slingshot pan another chap. Because word dance. Them a follow now, watch his style. Tapping eyes. Yo, there just Papi Kyle. Party now, don't turn up. Watch the vibes when me bring us up. Turn it up. Oh, watch DJ mash it up. That style you go stay so them curry up. If you can't catch it, dance up, hurry up. Huh? Hurry up, huh? That dance too bad, that bet you can't catch this. Bet say your girl, I watch me like Netflix. Purple jeans, I beat it authentic. Stepping at the. So catch his style where the whole of them want do. High flames a lead me now. Beat them. Next one. Yeah. Catchy dance now. Baby dirt a dance though. Let me chew, make me punch them. Me still a scoop, catch a bounce there. Mash up the place so the like them water bump there. Looney Tune and no cartoon. You for the G teacher, no better come a class. None of you can. Me a mouth and speak with me. Catchy dance now. A DJ dance too. Hey, give me the next one there quick. All right. That one named Gorilla Bongs. The dancer is. Hey, credit card you use it. Boy, girl, I bounce at the new age. I'm in the north, I'm in the rich boat, I love Gucci. Hey, I'm in the funny state, can't use me. Boy, I don't call me. Hey, I'm a biggest target. The dancer named Gorilla Bongs. All right then, Gorilla Bongs, Gorilla Bongs, Gorilla Bongs, Gorilla Bongs, Gorilla Bongs, Gorilla Bongs. And everybody know a belly buster. A belly buster, 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 a belly buster. And the brand new dance. I teach it. Gorilla Bongs take a girl pan a trail him. Yeah, make up your face of the reason. Just make up your foot, give me kneel him. Alright, slingshot, 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 slingshot. We have a new one. Put that one on. Touch the next one there. One more. Get that crazy. Hey, I got some. Different style man I come here with. Who are on the dancing that we go on it? Different style man I come here with. I'm not take no. Stepping at the. Alright then. How are the dance name? Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. Little bit. Give me a little bit. Little bit. Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. Little bit, give me a little bit, little bit, give me a little bit, little bit, give me. Hey, that is it. Big up on yourself. I want high flame, that
wonderful, is it. Wonderful. A round of applause. Round of applause.
Make sure you catch it, you know.
Yo, listen to me. Yo, boy, DG. Well on. There are some people on my program that should come up here.
All right.
There are some people on my program. May I invite Miss Yannick Williams? May I invite Mrs. Nadine Brown? May I invite Michelle Edwards? Yes, man. DG, you come to. I'm inviting Samantha. Samantha, come to. I'm handpicking. Madam, that answer the question. You come. Yes. National Council for Drug, you come. You come. You come. Come. It's a youth thematic working group. Young people, come, miss, come on, come. If you can represent, you come. Yes, no, both of you come. Christina, put on your laptop and come. Javon Keys, you come. You're all over your work. It's youth thematic working group. Yeah, man, we're doing the simple one. We want to show that the youth thematic group is working well. Carissa, you come. All right. Mitchell. Charlene, you come. Right. Mitchell, you come. We want to show. Simone, Jerome, Leanne, you come. We want to show Jamaica that the young people are versatile. Yannick, come, man, come. You can't lead young people and can't dance. Leanne, come, Leanne. Simone, come quickly. DG, I want you in the middle right here. DG, come in the middle right here. Yeah. We're going to do something for those who are at home. You have to catch this now. Watch out. What to Charlie? No, they can't lead young people and can't dance. Come, Mr. Mitchell, come. Quickly. All right. So you know. High face, come at the front right there, someone. Moe, give us the instruction. All right. Give it the instruction.
So we're going to go left, and then we're going to go right.
Yeah, left
and then ready?
Right. Yeah.
Ready? All right. 5, 6.
Hold on. Your teacher, which by the left there? Which left? Over there, so.
Only that left there. That left there.
And then over there, so.
That right there.
That right there. All right, so for the first time, ready now, teach me.
Left, right.
Yeah.
Left, right. Left,
yeah.
Right.
All right.
Left.
Show the next dance move now, so we learn the part there. All right. Down.
All right.
Teach me. Teach me. All right. So after this, what we do after that one there?
Where you want to?
No, teach me.
You want fling?
All right, that's the third one.
All right.
That's the third one. All right.
Fling.
All right. So that's the three moves.
There, slingshot.
And then slingshot. 4 moves.
Yeah.
4 moves. So it's a 4-move dance. Class, they get it? We're going to put it together now.
Everything together now.
So
left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Left. Right. And then we're down there. And then we're down there. And then we're down there. Then we're going to fling now. One more fling again. Fling now. And then we're going to slingshot. Sling.
All right, that was a practice. When you ready last time? Last time. You can't tell DG. You can't tell.
All right.
Ready now. Last time.
Okay. Ready? All right. So 5, 6, 7, and. All right. Ready? Down there with it now. All right. We're going to fling now. Fling 2 times. All right. Ready? Fling. One more time. Fling. One more time again. Fling. We're going to slingshot now. Sling. No man, I'll be a dancer there, so watch out.
Yes! A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. Wow. Listen, it's amazing how generations just, it's amazing how generations transcend. Wasn't that wonderful? Anybody who booked them forget a raise. Anybody who booked them a 100% salary increase. Yeah, man. Wonderful. This special meeting of the youth thematic working group was just wonderful. Can you imagine if we had a chance to do the event that we envisaged before Hurricane Melissa? Jamaica would have been in a problem. Maybe that would have been the hurricane. So, back to the formal. Listen to me, man. These young people must be drinking and eating, because after that, you don't need no gym. I'm trying to gather my breath. Jerome, how did you manage? Oh boy. And Yannick, I want you to send a memo to Charlene and Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell was there. Okay. Was Simone there too? Because me no know how only in a youth division and can't dance. You're represented. She's not very well. Mr. Pinto is there. You know, I wanted, please let them know that when we're having this type of activity, we cannot be on the 17th floor. Weren't you nervous? I'm just like, well, at least Adpem they here. Because I'm just like, they would have to prepare for that disaster and give us emergency management. But let me just come under here. All right. So, listen, wonderful. I want to invite our presenters and entertainers to the stage, and they'll be presented with tokens of appreciation. Now, Yannick, you can actually come for this one. Lord, send up our pressure. All right, Keisha. Wait, Keisha isn't here. She's left. Okay. Thank you for this. Well, Mrs. Nadine Brown. Give her a round of applause. She will be presented by Ms. Nichols, Research Officer, Vision 2030. Thank you so much for your presentation. I beg up, oh Lord. And Michelle Edwards. Did Michelle come up when we asked her to dance? She was here? Michelle, you have a special art of expanding 1 minute beyond measures. Listen to me. You are tremendous. I would love to learn that skill. Thank you so very much for your presentation from ADPEM. Michelle Edwards is the Senior Director in the Mitigation, Planning and Research Unit at ADPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. Okay, inviting High Flames to come back for a presentation. Please. Don't you think this young man has a big, bright future? Please, on this side. And your team, yes. Yeah, I forgot to stretch the gift, but... yes. Another round of applause for High Flames. Please, book them. ADPEM, book them. Ministry of Youth, book them. Who else there? National, everybody, book them. As a matter of fact, gentlemen, I have management services if you don't. Right. I'm not seeing the other folks, but ladies and gentlemen, this brings an end of the open session of our program. We extend heartfelt thanks to all our presenters for their valuable insights and to everyone who contributed to this morning's discussions and activities. Special thanks to those who have joined us online. I hope that you participated wherever you were watching from. And of course, reminding you that we're going to be posting on our social media platforms questions for you to participate, for you to respond, for you to get your own opportunity of a prize. For those who are in person, you were tremendous in your support and engagement. A round of applause for you. So, until we meet again, I'm reminding you, well, we can all say together, our mission for Vision 2030 is to make Jamaica the place of choice, raise families, and do business. And as we look to the future as young people, I'm reminding you that youths are not for tomorrow. The youths are for today. And we're not called to be bystanders or observers of change as young people. We are called to be the agents of change. We are called to roll up our sleeves, to do the dirty work, to build the pretty Jamaica that we want for tomorrow. Thank you so much. God bless you. Wow, good.